Good morning. I would like to discuss the concept of racism. Racism could take the form of attitudes, beliefs about one group of individuals, a race, a culture, a particular sex, or somebody of a particular sexual orientation that places them inferior to another group. Racism, as defined by Webster's, is the belief that some races are inherently superior to others. Or simply put, it's a discrimination based on race that has since gone on to include other cultures, as I said, other opposite sex, or people with particular sexual orientations have also become targets of racism. Racism can take the form of comments or names given to those particular individuals in an attempt to demean them and place them superior or inferior to the individuals that are calling them the names. It can also take the form of stereotypical beliefs about a certain group of individuals. These comments and beliefs create negative attitudes that are detrimental to interpersonal relationships, and it can be harmful to the individuals themselves. It can be extremely harmful because words have a tendency of sticking around a lot longer than any physical assault can. People tend to mend the broken bones, the cuts, the scrapes, whatever, and continue to move on, but those names tend to linger, stay in the back of their mind, and they think about it constantly. Now that I've discussed the concept, I would like to present a video clip that shows this concept. It shows partially this concept, and it goes on to show a little bit of education, which is the follow-up to what I'm talking about now, about how the education can actually change people's beliefs about a certain group of individuals. This video clip is from the TV show MASH. It's a show that is loosely based on a real-life field hospital during the Korean War. MASH is one of my favorite television shows. I love the show. It actually talked about a lot of different controversial issues that were taking place during the Korean War. The show was actually filmed during the 1970s, and the war was in the 1950s. In this particular scene, there's an interaction between a wounded soldier who is racist and two of the doctors, Captain Hawkeye Pierce and Captain Trapper John McIntyre. I should also point out that earlier in the episode, when the soldier was first brought in, he was on the operating table. He made the comment to Captain Pierce to make sure that he got the right color blood. The captain just looked at him and was like, okay, you know. His nurse at the time for his surgery was a lieutenant who was a black nurse, and she made no comment about it, just continued on about her business. Throughout the show, after this comment was made, Captains Pierce and McIntyre set him up for this particular scene that we're about to watch by using some chemicals to slightly dye his skin color a different color. So right now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play this video clip. I looked at it earlier. It's kind of hard to see on the video screen, but we'll do the best that we can.
Hey, boy. A little lunch? I got to talk to you, Doc. Why don't you have some food first? Best medicine in the world. And what is it? Just what you ordered. Fried chicken and watermelon. I never ordered that. Hey, what are you guys trying to do to me? Did you give me the wrong color blood or not? Oh, blood is the same.
You ever hear Dr. Charles Drew, soldier?
Who's that?
Dr. Drew invented the process for separating blood so it could be stored.
Plasma.
He died last April after a car accident in North Carolina.
He bled to death. The hospital wouldn't let him in.
It was for whites only.
See you, Phil.
I felt that this video clip was a good example of how racism can narrow the views of other people to exclude the contributions made to society by individuals of various races, cultures, opposite sex, whatever. I hope everybody found this clip as interesting as I did. It should actually be noted that the story that they were telling about Dr. Charles Drew at the time of the Korean War was when he actually did die. And the myth was that he actually did die as a result of not being treated because he was black. It was later found out in later years that that was not actually the case. He actually was provided some very good medical treatment. But this just goes to show how the idea of racism can perpetuate stories that aren't necessarily true. Dr. Charles Drew, apparently, from most of the accounts that I found, actually was treated very well. It was just at the time period that it took to get him there prevented them from being able to do anything to actually help him survive his accident. Racism is something that almost everyone experiences at some point in their life. Racism affects attitudes, actions, beliefs, and interpersonal relationships. The video clip showed how racism can blind an individual to the many contributions that people of different races and cultures have made throughout history, and the potential for future contributions from other individuals of that particular race. If people realize how their attitudes can affect their interactions, then they may be able to communicate better and be more open to the potential roles that some of these people can present later on in life. That concludes my presentation on racism. I hope that everybody found it as interesting as I did, especially the video clip. As I said, MASH had a tendency of showing a lot of controversial topics, and they approached it in a humorous way to try to make it easier for people to understand. Thank you for your time, and I hope that everybody has a very wonderful weekend.